I want to read an op-ed from a local paper up in the Northeast, written by a guy named Art Payne. He says, for 20 years, I've listened to conservative talk radio, and my liberal friends say they sometimes try, but they can't tolerate it long. Ever since William F. Buckley, who was at least erudite, I've considered it a citizen's obligation to tune in, partly because I'm a veteran, and like many veterans, I take it as an ongoing obligation to support and defend this country and everything it claims to stands for. Buckley promoted traditional right-leaning ideology, a small portion of which I agreed with. The Fox-backed Voice of Maine channel now airs Glenn Beck in the morning and Rush Limbaugh in the afternoon. If you want to know the wellspring for most of the ideas that are threatening to divide and destroy this country and make you anxious and depressed, ideas that unquestionably influence the tweets and chaotic outbursts of our president, then listen for yourself but expect to be shocked. Now, he has set himself up as somebody who is open-minded. He's open-minded. He listens to the other side because it's a citizen's duty. I do that every day. I listen to the New York Times podcast. I listen to NPR. I read the Huffington Post. I read the New York Times. I can't really watch cable news anymore, but I can't watch Fox either. I try to be open-minded just like you, Art. But now I'm being accused of a wellspring of ideas that are threatening to divide. If you are a new listener of mine, if you are somebody who is on the left, I want you to know, here are my ideas. All men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And governments are instituted among men to protect those rights. I will stand in battle shoulder to shoulder with anyone who agrees with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I believe in the free market. It's what built America and built the world. I will stand shoulder to shoulder with somebody who says higher taxes, but I believe in the Constitution and the free market. Anybody that believes that children belong to their parents, not to the community, I will stand with you. I will stand with you if you, that's at the bottom of the hour. I will stand with you if you are someone who is voting the other way. You say, I can't vote for Donald Trump. That's fine. I don't hate you. I don't understand it. If you're an educated person, I really don't understand it. Just seeing who the other side is in line with. If you look at the truth of BLM from their own website, they tell you that they are trying to destroy capitalism. They are trying to overthrow the Western values. They are working to destroy the nuclear family. Those are their words, not mine. And I gladly will stand on a divide and say, yes, if that's what you're working for, then I don't stand with you. I can't stand with you. During the past 2 years, after Beck finally jumped on the Trump train, the rhetoric from these two has grown increasingly spiteful, divisive, and untrue. A major portion of the thousands of lies now attributed to Trump originated there. With us? Really? Could you give me one example? Every day raises the bar on dangerous, probably illegal speech in terms of inciting violence and riots. I don't believe Art's even a real person. As a former serviceman, I realize that rhetoric like theirs would never be tolerated out in the open in the military. No, because you are not an individual in the military. You belong to the state. The minute you sign up or the minute you enter the military, you no longer have an individual identity. So, yeah, you can't say those things. But here in America, again, Art, it's the First Amendment. It's speech, press, questioning your government, asking them to answer. assembling, protesting, all of it. Not riots, not violence, not burning cities down. Here's an up-to-date synopsis. Democrats, liberals, and inclusive, open-minded folk are lumped together in two words, the left. That is not true. How many times have I said, in fact, just on today's show, Democrats, liberals, as long as you are not trying to destroy the country, as long as you are not part of the movement that is cheering on lawlessness, and you want the free market, you want the Bill of Rights, and you will stand and protect those things, you are not a member of the left. Liberals, I don't have a problem with liberals. I've had a problem with progressives because progressives have, by definition, as Hillary Clinton said, the early 20th century progressive. The early 20th century progressive was a nightmare, was for eugenics, was for sterilization, was for state control, was for totalitarianism without the revolution. That's what they were progressing for. I got a problem with that. If you don't understand what the definition of a progressive is, well, that's not my fault, that's your fault. But liberals, people who differ on tax policy and welfare and things like that, no. You're not an enemy of the state or an enemy of mine. This hateful faction, it's claimed, are almost all secretly members of Antifa. Have I said that, Stu? Anything like that, that Democrats are all secretly members of Antifa?
No.
And are predominantly Marxists. Well, I will tell you this. I've never said anything like that. I don't believe that. In fact, I'm pleading for Democrats to stand up. It's been a hostile takeover of the Democratic Party. I don't believe you're Marxist, but if you don't stand up, at some point, you are going to be labeled a Marxist. You are a Marxist because you're allowing it to take over your party and your ideology.
I mean, this is not exactly a reach. You have a guy who has explained multiple dozens of times that he is a socialist, and he keeps coming in second in your primaries. So, I mean, like, it's not exactly like there's no people that support this ideology in the party.
He goes on, there are daily warnings with Limbaugh and Beck that the entire educational system from grade school through college has been co-opted by a radical leftist agenda. Art, are you blind? Are you blind? Are you seeing what's happening in colleges? Are you seeing liberal, very liberal, Democrat, voted Democrat their whole life? Some of them actually considered themselves kind of pro-Marxism for a while, that have said, oh my gosh, this is completely out of control, and they've left the university on their own. Have you noticed that, Art? As to the recent unrest arising out of the latest spate of police killings of black men, the Black Lives Matter movement...
That's the summary of that story. Mm-hmm. Interesting one.
The Black Lives Matter movement and the standoffs against a militia of patriots in pickup trucks bearing AK-47s beneath Trump-Pence banners. Rush and Beck define this as a biblical battle as clear as black and white or good versus evil. They often use the evil word for the left and not infrequently claim that all of us evil ones are negative on God. Well, if you are evil, yeah, I mean, by definition, you're not standing with God. I am not accusing Democrats of being that, but Marxists, yes. Those people who are attacking our churches, literally, yes. Those people who say the church and the belief of God must be eradicated, yes. The people who call for individual rights to be abolished so we all are told exactly who to be, where to live, what to do at all times, yes. Man is granted certain unalienable rights by God. Anyone who fights against those rights, yes, you would be on the side of evil. Doesn't make you evil unless you really know it. Art, this is the problem here. I'm trying to be very kind. You seem to be an intelligent person. You seem to be someone who knows a lot of the stories that are going on. How you are seeing something so incredibly one-sided is beyond me. That you are parroting all of the fictions of BLM, of Antifa. I mean, it is to the point now to where Joe Biden came out and said, no one's talking about defunding the police except Donald Trump. What? What are you even talking about? If you are this deluded, I pray that the scales fall from your eyes.